Thomas Tuchel will be the new England manager, and in this video we're going to be talking about why he could be the perfect appointment for this England group and how he could set up this England side going forwards. Thomas Tuchel is a fantastic coach with an unbelievable resume that really does speak for itself. He's managed some of the top clubs in the world, including Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea, Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. He's got a brilliant win rate of 59%, obviously nearly 60%, which is pretty fantastic, winning 2/3 of the matches that he's managed. And if you take away this Mainz outlier right here, he actually has a win rate of 67%, which is fantastic. Nearly 70% win rate is absolutely insane. He has a preferred formation of the 4-2-3-1, but you've also seen him be tactically flexible, utilising the 3-4-3, in particular with his time at Chelsea, being able to adapt his style, being able to adapt his style of play to be able to get the best out of the players that he has at his disposal. He also has a points per match of 1.93 out of 608 games. He is a quality coach and he has won at nearly everywhere that he has been. In fact, if we were to take a look at some of his trophy hauls, it's pretty impressive. He obviously won the Champions League with Chelsea. He was crowned the world's best club coach in 2021. He's also been the French champion twice. He's been a German Cup winner once, won the German Cup or the German General League with Bayern Munich as well, and he's also won the UEFA Super Cup as well as a whole host of other trophies. He's truly a quality manager with a record of winning trophies, and that is exactly what England are looking for. So how would Thomas Tuchel set up England to go into the 2026 World Cup? Obviously this is all speculation, but if we were to look back on Thomas Tuchel's history, I've looked at Bayern Munich in this particular case. I think we can find some profile of players that we would be able to utilise then with our England side. So we know that Thomas Tuchel likes to utilise the 4-2-3-1 formation, and in using that we can adapt that to England, but in particular the profile of players that are used in this system. So you've got Alphonso Davies, who's a marauding left-sided left back. You've got Nusa Masraoui, who is very happy with the ball at his feet, but at the same time able to go forwards and help with the attack as well. Kim Min-jae and Dayo Upamecano are both happy with the ball at their feet, but looking forwards is where it gets really interesting for me. Thomas Tuchel really likes having a midfield double pivot. We've seen it with the likes of Dortmund, we've seen it with the likes of Bayern in Goretzka and Lima, we've seen it with Chelsea with Jorginho and Kante. He likes having a bit of balance, a defensive main player and a player that's able to do a little bit of both, go forwards but also have that defensive aspect. Just ahead of them you've got the two wingers who are quick, fast, pacey, dynamic, able to hit teams on the counter-attack but also have the composure on the ball to be able to create opportunities themselves. In between them you've got Jamal Musiala, that real technically gifted player who is able to dance in between different spaces, both shooting from distance but also being able to get into the box and provide for their striker, which of course is Harry Kane. Now, when Harry Kane came to the Bundesliga, he scored 44 goals for Bayern Munich in his first season under, yep, you guessed it, Thomas Tuchel. I think Tuchel knows how to get the very best out of Harry Kane, and even so, I think he can also do the same for Ollie Watkins and even Dominic Solanke. I think it's a quality appointment, and this could be a highlight and could be an indicator as to how England could set up in the future. So taking that information that we've just gained from looking at that Bayern Munich team and how Thomas Tuchel likes to set up his squad, I've come up with this, and this is how I believe Thomas Tuchel could set up England going into further matches and of course looking ahead towards the World Cup in 2026. We've got them set up in that 4-2-3-1 formation, the formation that he favours, but of course there are other options. We might look at that a little bit later. Jordan Pickford is still the mainstay for me, and I've got a centre-back partnership of Colwill and John Stones, two players who are really comfortable on the ball, really comfortable in playing out. We know that John Stones is probably the best ball-playing centre-back England have at the minute, and Colwill isn't too bad with the ball at his feet either. Luke Shaw, I think, is still the only out-and-out left-back that that England have currently, and I don't think you can displace Trent Alexander-Arnold, and his range of passing is something that I think Thomas Tuchel will look towards with this England setup and England system. The switch of play over to that left-hand side is something that I think you have to look at if you're Tuchel. And it's the double pivot that I was really interested with. Remember what I said about Tuchel having a balance in his midfield with the likes of Lima and with Goretzka. I believe that Jude Bellingham could play that Goretzka role, really moving forwards and being able to join in with the attack when necessary. Rice filling in, but then dropping back and then allowing Bellingham to come back into the side when England need to regain a defensive shape. Looking ahead, you've got Bukayo Saka and Anthony Gordon as your fast-pacing wingers, able to drift infield when necessary and link up with the likes of, in this instance, Cole Palmer and Harry Kane. Palmer, I think, is head and shoulders above what Phil Foden is currently doing for England. I like Foden, I think he has a lot of quality, and I think he's really good in those tight-knit spaces, but he just hasn't shown it for England of late. And I think Palmer, while he hasn't necessarily done too much either, I think his form really dictates where he should be in this England side. Harry Kane is obviously leading the line, but this could be the likes of Ollie Watkins or even Dominic Solanke or whoever may come into this setup. But it's the idea of having player profiles. You've got that double pivot, both strong, technically gifted, and with the ability to have one half of that to go forwards. You've got the fast, pacey, technical wingers who can not only drift infield but also go on the outside, and you've got the striker in Harry Kane who can get into the box. Trent Alexander-Arnold with those passes and switches of play over to that left-hand side, but also crosses into Harry Kane, which could be a major avenue that they could really look towards. Luke Shaw doing the same thing with those overlapping runs, very much like Alphonso Davies, and of course you've got the ball playing ability of Levi Colwill and John Stones, all coming together to create a balanced England setup that, with Thomas Tuchel's real knowledge and real guidance, could see England go towards their major hopes of winning a trophy. But we also know that Thomas Tuchel liked to utilise the 3-4-3 formation, and that's exactly what I've got right here, because we all like a bit of excitement, we all like a bit of speculation, so this is how I think he could set up if he was to utilise this system. Still Pickford in goal and still utilising John Stones and Levi Colwill, but I've got Mark Gahey coming in at this right centre-back role, and that's number one due to his ability on the ball, but also down to his recovery pace and his ability to read the play. And I think out on this right-hand side, not only have you got a right footer on this right, Colwill with his left foot on this left, I also think that John Stones could be a really good pivot to come and shuffle across and really ping balls into the centre midfielders, who are obviously still Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice. I think dropping Bellingham back a little bit more really suits his game, and I think actually having the physicality in this Thomas Tuchel England setup could be something that really might set England apart from a couple of sides. Phil Foden comes into this setup next to Cole Palmer as two almost attacking midfielders, but also like half wingers. I think Foden driving forwards and Palmer being in this inside right channel might just unlock his potential that little bit further. Bukayo Saka on this left hand side might seem like I'm shoehorning him in, but I think he could do really a good job as a left wing back. And then you've got Reece James coming into the side. I know the jokes about him being injured. I understand that it might be a lost cause having him out on this right wing back slot. But think of the actual power that he could possess, driving down this right hand side, marauding down this right, making sure that he can get good crosses into the box for Harry Kane or Ollie Watkins, making sure that he's dangerous. If this wasn't the case, but he still is fit, I could see him dropping down and being a right centre-back, or if not, I can of course see Trent Alexander-Arnold coming into this setup and still playing this right-hand side. The switches of play really could be on, and I could see this really working out for a couple of experiments if Thomas Tuchel wanted to do it. So there you have it, guys. Those are two setups, two formations, and a whole lot of excitement about England's new manager. But of course, let me know what you think in the comment section below. What do you make of Thomas Tuchel as the England coach, and could he finally be the coach to take England to that next step and win the major trophy? Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care.